If there was a contract of being a creative, that would be in it. It's so scary and vulnerable to me because of that. We can really hold ourselves back, and our brains like what's familiar. If chaos is familiar, that's what you're gonna crave. I would put so much of myself into another person. You have to rewire your brain to feel okay with that. Hello, my wonderful friends. Let's finish up this resin painting today. Neglecting your art can make you crave chaos. As someone who craved chaos a lot in the past, I feel so much more at peace with myself and my life. And I think that when you're an artist and you're not in alignment with what you need to be doing, you're gonna feel so much more turmoil. And that creative energy doesn't go outwards, it just goes inwards onto yourself and your life. That can come out in ways like work or relationships. For me, I felt like it was relationships. I was always craving like the most toxic people because it was like I needed some sort of excitement, because that excitement wasn't coming out in my art or my work. Obviously there's other factors like age. I've grown up a little, my brain's fully developed now, but I think that was a huge part of it. There is this actor who said like if he is not being creative, he turns into, this is not aesthetic, he turns into a total hypochondriac. And I couldn't relate more because I am naturally quite a hypochondriac, and I know hypochondria does the opposite of what you actually want it to do because stress breeds disease. But I've gotten a good hold on it lately, but sometimes like this week I can have a bad spiral. But I'd say overall, day to day, my brain feels much better. Why is this dripping? It shouldn't be dripping so much. Like all that energy that built up, like energy that needs to come out, goes back in. Release that creative energy in whatever ways. My body's not active even for a week, my brain starts attacking me. Not in the sense that like, oh, if you don't exercise you're gonna get sick. It's more so in the way that I feel like I have built up energy if I'm not exercising. Dance is just kind of like my biggest healer, which is why I love performing, because being on stage, it's active, it's fun, it's feeding off of a crowd's energy. It's just everything I love. Dance contract in like November, December, and it's the happiest I feel all year. Oh my gosh, this is actually looking really sharp. I'm happy with it, but I need some more paint. Okay, hear me out on this next part, but decentering men gave me so much more room for my creativity. I'm gonna say, a lot of people, if you listen to my podcast or have seen any of my videos, you'll know like I am seeing somebody. It's very specific to him. Like I don't really go looking to date unless I find somebody. He very much so encourages my art. In the past, before him, like I was usually craving the kind of guy where you had to either fight for their love, so it's almost like I needed validation. A lot more to that I can make a whole separate video on. With someone toxic and always having to prove myself to them in some way or another. Through kind of, it would use up so much of my brain power that I would have none left to create. And then in a way, it's like a form of procrastination. I can't create today because I'm just thinking so much about so-and-so texting me back or not loving me or breaking up with me. It really kept me from my work. Whereas now, the guy I'm with will literally text me if he knows I'm like up to something that day. He'll be like, I'm sorry, am I disturbing your workflow? We don't even get to talk as much as we should because we do long distance and we have a time difference, and he's still like trying not to get in the way of anything creative. He's always supportive and wants to hear about my creative endeavors and what I'm doing, and you know, he always hears my music before it comes out, which I think is one of the most vulnerable things, is like being able to be seen in process. People hear a final result. It's the Jesse and I have tweaked it. Jesse's my producer, by the way, and also my friend. Send something to Swiss Man and it's in process. It's like so scary and vulnerable to me because of that. I just look back and I'm like, how did I spend so much time with people who A, didn't support me wholeheartedly, and B, take up so much of my mental focus. Like now I just feel like the best, most sure, calm, amazing version of myself because of the fact that I have so much space to be myself. However, I worked on that a lot in therapy, where I also lost my sense of self when dating people, and that could be a mixture of things like A, they probably weren't encouraging me to be my best self, but B, I was letting myself get lost. I would put so much of myself into another person, but it's taken me a long time to get here. I just like living my life and chilling out. My life is just straight chilling, and it's taken me a long time not only to get here, but to accept getting here. Even a year or two ago, if I was sitting here now, I would feel almost uncomfortable in being comfortable, and you have to rewire your brain in order to feel okay with that. When you're used to chaos, you hear that all the time, right? That our brains like what's familiar, and if chaos is familiar, then that's what you're gonna crave, even if it's not what's best for you. I have to flip this. That was very much so not demure, not delicate. Paint this bottom part, because why not? I always like painting the whole thing, and I don't know why, because you don't even see the whole thing, but something about painting all of this just makes it feel so complete to me. We can really hold ourselves back, and I think I held myself back so many ways. It's fine though, like I don't regret it because I was young and I was still figuring myself out, and I'm always going to be a work in progress, but at least I've kind of healed from a lot of crap. But I was talking to my friend Dylan recently, and it's so funny because he doesn't use social media. He doesn't really use his phone. Nobody would even really know that we're as close as we are just from like the internet. We talk all the time, and we've been close for a really long time. We both have like a very similar personality where we're like chill, everything's fun, but we still always have this like reckless side to us. No matter how comfortable we are though, we need a little bit of chaos, you know, just a little bit though. I think some of us though are just those kinds of people. Like when I see people now my age settling down, buying homes, getting married, I'm so happy for them, but that's like genuinely my nightmare. Like I think stuff like that keeps me up at night. I think a lot of creatives are like that though. That's why I'm meant to be a musical artist, is because I love the idea of travel, performing, not feeling stagnant anywhere. So proper rest is really important. Like obviously sleep at night, but getting rest from your creativity, because I was someone who hated feeling stagnant and I hated periods of time where I wasn't feeling creative, but it's seriously essential to the process. Your body, mind, and soul cannot create 24/7. No one has that in them. And so you have to give yourself times of not feeling inspired. If there was a contract of being a creative, that would be in it, is periods of rest and absolutely no inspiration. The type of person that was really hard on myself, and if I wasn't feeling creatively inspired or doing work that I felt was my best or good, then I would get really mad at myself. I think I've also learned to have a lot more fun. For me, it was always about the result and having to be good, and I think I've learned to enjoy the process a lot more. Even now when Jesse and I create music, I just feel like I enjoy creating with him so much more because I'm so open to ideas. I'm so much more playful and fun, not so much result driven. Like I'm totally down to see where ideas go and try new things, and I don't feel as rigid, I guess. I'm just a very like free-flowing person, which has unlocked even more creativity, whereas in the past I would have just been like if Jesse or I had an idea and it kind of flopped or just like didn't work, or start to get like so in my head about everything, and I was just very rigid in my creativity, which is interesting. It's like kind of being a hypochondriac. It's like stress is so bad for you. Why stress about things? Not being playful with creativity it's such a hindrance to the process, so why do it? It's one of those things, right? I feel like it's the paradox of life. I just read the book, I probably can't say the title actually in this video, but it said all wisdom ends in paradox. Like being a human being pretty much always ends in paradox, doesn't it? I'm just learning and growing every day. I found a journal from when I was 20 or something like that, and I was like, I don't even relate to the thought process. Like it felt like I might as well have been reading a stranger's journal. And me from 5-6 years ago is such an unrelatable person to me now. Me from honestly the start of the year. It's just very crazy how much life can change, and I just feel like what the heck was that? Literally it sounded like someone was outside my window. You have to be committed to change because age doesn't change you. True like commitment, hard work, dedication to growth changes you. I guess I've just never felt more like me, which is nice. I really like who I've become, and I really hope for everyone to feel like they're at that point, you know? This video is just for all my artists out there. Even when I was doing resin art, I knew resin art wasn't going to be the goal forever. I wanted to do music first and foremost, always. I'm becoming who I really truly am and want to be. I'm gonna let this dry. Thank you for being here. I hope that all my artists out there enjoyed this video. I really appreciate it, and you can subscribe for lots of music content. I do studio vlogs and I make dark pop music. What I'm really into I have like a visual book journal, so I keep track of the books I read and I do little art pieces on them, so I have that on my channel too. It's basically all things art. I would love to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you are on the path to being your best self or starting to feel like it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!